Hello one and all, 'tis I, Vegeta FH1. Okay, this is something I've played a while. It's called Mech Warrior Online. It is literally, most likely the definitive mech game, US style mech game that is online multiplayer. This is... Fucking hell, I've already started stuttering over myself. Fucking hell, I'm not even 2 minutes into the video. Right, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and start explaining what the hell I need to start explaining. First and foremost, I am a Tier 3 pilot. Now, anybody that doesn't know, tiers go from pretty much 1 to 6. 6 being, well, it's 5, but Tier 6 is the lowest of the low, whatever the fuck. Okay, anyway. I have noticed people still in Tier 3 that have been basically alpha striking everything in sight. Stop doing this. Please, for the love of fucking Christ, stop doing this. No. Just, no. Okay. Right, I'm gonna show people how to set up a freaking mech, because the basics are the basics. Left to right, top to bottom, front to back. Right? That's the way it goes. Now, what I mean by left to right. Okay, well, left side of your mech, right side of your mech. Anything on your left and right arms should be bound to separate buttons. Usually this is the left and right button, but, well, it can vary depending on what kind of device you're using. Such as a joystick, a joypad, a Steel Battalion controller, mouse and keyboard, blah blah blah, sky's the limit, whatever. Okay, fine. Your left arms and your right arms to be bound separately. Now, separately, no, that's something else I have to actually show later on. I shall show it here. Any fucking mech. Fuck it, Mauler. Right. Right there. 2 large lasers, 4 AC2s, 2 LRM5s. It's a shit mech, shut the fuck up. I know. Anyway. 1 and 2, left mouse button, right mouse button, left mouse button for your left side, right mouse button for your right side. Okay, grand. Group 3, the AC2s, the left and right torsos. That is typically bound to my 4th mouse button, which is on the left side of my mouse, which makes it easy to fire. Sometimes it can make you misfire because you have to push the mouse button, which pushes the mouse itself, and makes you kind of stray off your aim a little bit, but you can compensate for that. Group 4 is the LRM5s. This is top to bottom bit, right? Okay, so the left and right torsos are, yes, centralized, but they are within the same fire arc, that being the X. And in fact, I'll show you that now. If I can get training grounds, bang. Fucking any old map, doesn't really matter. Right. So what I mean by different firing arcs, there's the circle and there's the X. The X being your torso, the circle being your arms. Your arms go wherever the fuck they want to, usually, and it's not linked up, right? So you have your circle and your, I call it the X, it's a plus, but whatever. It's an X for the clan tech, it's a plus for the IS tech. Ugh, IS tech. Anyway, left button, right button, mouse, well, it's mouse 4, it's not mouse 3. And that would be mouse 5. Now, left to right is literally left arm to right arm, and it is dictated by the circle of where you aim. So, yeah. Okay. The plus or the X, depending on which tech you go, dictates where your AC2s will go. So naturally your arms will actually get there faster than your torso, but your AC2s still fire at the plus, or the X, depending on your tech, god damn it. Now, I have the AC2s and the LRMs bound to different buttons because long range. That's what I mean by front to back. Shortest range to longest range. This being your longest range, your LRMs, your gauze rifles, your PPCs, everything like that. Okay, so your forward cannons, my forward cannons, my AC2s, are the closest ranged ballistics, so they're on a different key to the LRMs. That being your LRMs, that being your AC2s. Right, this is something to easily understand. You have to understand this. In order to pilot a mech properly, you have to be able to tell the difference where the fuck your arms are, where the fuck your torso is, and also where the fuck your feet are, otherwise you start, well, running into walls. There is the added feature of English. There is the added feature of toggling your arm lock, which is essentially telling your arms to stay where your torso is facing. So I have that bound to left shift, and that is basically what happens. The circle and the plus, or X, stay within each other, so you aim the same direction. Now, this can be really handy for long range coordination, but in a close quarters combat scenario, you want to unlock your arms and you want to save face, essentially. Because when you have lights, like this little fucker running around your feet, you need to know that your arms can be basically keep up with the mech that's running around your feet. So of course, unlock your arms and go to town. Okay, now, a lot of people know that within Mech Warrior you are within the game, like the way I am now. You are able to select your weapon groups, your weapon types, not your weapon types, that would be daft. Essentially your individual weapons, so you can reassign them to different fire groups. This is common knowledge. It's easy to do. I have it so that my arrow keys, up, down, left, right arrow keys, select the left and, well, actually, the navigation between that right-hand menu down the bottom right. I don't know why I'm circling it on my monitor. You can't see that. Anyway, so your arrow keys, up, down, left, right. That's that. Okay, so how do you select? Well, I typically use right control because it's the easiest one. That's it. That's all you have to do. Right hand shift is it's chain fire. It's called something else from the time I was a Mech Warrior, but yeah. Essentially, what this does is, in succession, it makes the top selected, or not selected, the top ranked weapon fire first. When that is done, the next one down will fire, and then the next one, and then the next one, until it finishes that streak of fire group, or sorry, weapon group. Then it will repeat the process. So essentially what you have is, instead of now firing all of my AC2s all at once, I fire one. And then you get something like that. Now, typically this is great for... Yes, I know my ammo's gone. Typically this is great for sustained fire on a target that you need to stagger constantly. Like, say, a KDK, or an Atlas, or a Dire Wolf, or anything that's big enough to cause you a threat. Sustained fire is much better than outright blasting it to bits. This comes from the same logic as alpha striking. Please don't alpha strike. It's a fucking, like, why? Yay! I wasted missiles. I probably missed my target with my large lasers because I was too busy pressing the fucking alpha strike key. And on top of that, it's now caused you to overheat in such a way that you are fucked if you need to switch to sustained fire. No, just don't. Just don't. Take your alpha key binding and just unbind it. You don't need it. The only time you should alpha strike in any scenario is if you know for a fact you are about to die. You have a target right in front of you and he is cherry red, and you know for a fact if you hit him with everything that he is going to die. But you are going to die at the same time. That is the only time you alpha strike. There is no other situation I can think of that is suitable for an alpha strike. There's just not. Apart from anything else, it overheats you like a bitch. And yeah, okay, granted, you waste a bit of ammo, whatever. A lot of people carry a lot of ammo and stuff like that. Okay, grand. It's the overheating that fucks you. And what I mean by that is when you overheat with any mech, if you are in sight of anything with a gauze rifle, you're dead. You're just outright fucked. There's no two ways about it. They can't hit you with LRMs because you're shut down. They can't grab the lock. They can hit you with ballistics. It's a little bit harder depending on your, depending on where you are, your awareness of the map around you. But other than that, gauze rifles, PPCs to the face, that's it. You're dead. This goes for anything else, not just alpha striking, but if you overheat in the middle of combat, well, you're kind of dead. That's what this is about. This is to save face with your heat management. That is what this video is about. Putting different weapons on different weapon groups, firing them at different times, knowing the ins and outs of what weapons couple with other ones and what can be ghost fired. This will save you in Mech Warrior. Also, the knowledge of staying in cover. Stay in cover. Don't run forward like a total gimbal. I do it all the time because I piss around. And I test out new mechs, how hard it can be fucking hit, how hard I can hit others, so on and so forth. That is what I do. I build mechs. I don't necessarily play the game. Well, I play the game, obviously. But my love for this game comes from discovering what I can stick on a mech. How well does it work? Does the heat management save face? Can I punch while retreating? Can I love doing it. I don't know why. It's who I am. But the whole thing is overheating in a battle. No matter the battle, you're dead. You may as well be dead because you fucked yourself. But I want to stop people from doing that because all I see every single day, without fail, is I go in, I'm in a light, I'm doing a new fucking build, and I see alpha strikes, alpha strikes, alpha strikes, overheats, deaths because of fucking stupidity, all sorts of weird and wonderful shit. That's what I see, and it's cringeworthy in tier 3 because mech pilots should know the difference. I am purposely trying to kill myself by overheating, in case anyone's wondering. The purpose of you going into a fight and say you have like fucking 12 ER PPCs, it's fucking impossible. but let's say you fucking do, and you just alpha strike something in the face. You're dead. You just fucking committed suicide. The overheat. Okay, regardless of anything else hitting you, let's say you fucking demolish your target, and it's fucking lying on the ground, there's no one else around, you're overheating. You are still dead, because you just killed yourself by overheating. That is what I am doing right now. That is what I am showing you. You can kill yourself by overheating yourself. And it's... when I see it, it's... a person kills the same person. It's... you just killed yourself. Well done. Like, why? Why do you do that? This hunchback is actually a bitch to kill. Why are you such a bitch to kill? You did... oh, well, okay. This thing has a lot of fucking armor for a hunchback. So, that is what this is all about. This is... I want to save people the hassle. Thank you. Fucking Jesus. I want to save people the hassle of going into a fight and just shutting down. So, we have to go through it. Left to right, front to back, top to bottom. Now, what I mean by top to bottom is exactly what I have here, the AC2s and the LRMs. Now, that is also front to back, because the LRMs are long range, while the AC2s, in at least my mind, would be medium to short range. But for some reason, people try and fucking snipe with them. I don't know why. It's such a bad idea. I forgot to keep firing. Wait, sure, people know. I'm already cherry red inside my own shell. Like, if you can't see that overheating now fucking kills you, then it's never going to be drilled into your head. That it needs to be burned into your mind. When you overheat, you are potentially killing yourself. Whether it be from external forces, be it the enemy, or yourself, because you just managed to, well, first load on 12 ERPPCs onto a fucking mech and fire them all at once. That's instant death, in my eyes. It's it's stupid. Not to mention, yeah, okay, you might not kill yourself by overheating, which you will, but just the amount of downtime you then have because of that. You're unable to move, you're unable to fire, you're unable to do shit. When you are shut down, you're fucked. There's no other way of putting it. That's it. Everything's off. You're dead. Stop alpha striking. If I could drill one thing into your head from this video, do not alpha strike. It fucking kills you. Anyway, let's go back to the menus. So literally, a lot of people have actually asked me in game. I bring up the terms like chain firing and ghost firing. Now they're two separate things. Chain fire. This is going to be hard to explain. Chain firing is your normal. You stick it on chain fire. Like I put the AC2s on this mauler in chain fire. One fires after the other. Okay, grand. Ghost firing is something different. Ghost firing is this. Do you understand that? Ghost firing is the act of chaining all of your weapons on top of each other, overlapping each other. So, what I'm going to show... Testing grounds, caustic... I shouldn't have actually gone caustic valley because I'm going to overheat. Actually, no, I won't. I should be fine. The act of ghost firing is within the same fire, you have already fired a second gun on top of the heat that you just produced. So what you essentially have is something like that. Produces a hell of a lot less heat. Constant fire. The constant heat gain is dissipated over the ghost heat that you would have gained. So what you're essentially having, nice. What you're essentially having is one gun is firing, a second one fires within the same time frame, but that is continued over the third, while the first one stops. I have no idea what she just said, but whatever. The first one stops, the third one activates, while the second one is still firing. So when the second one stops, the fourth one fires, while the third one is still firing. So what you have is a constant stream of potential ghost heat that is completely negated by itself. So essentially what I'm telling you is if I took off, let's say, the first group of ACs, that right there, that's the 4% heat. But if I fired, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. If I fired, let's say, the fourth one, this is going to be weird. Could you imagine that firing all the fucking time? Look at that ghost heat, that's fucking stupid. You are eventually going to overheat yourself. While, if you stick it all in ghost fire mode, look at that. Not even similar, it's fucking stupid. You have this constant barrage of bullshit just heading towards your enemy. And once you have enough ammunition and you stick something in ghost fire, like this, you just don't overheat. You can stick fucking 12 medium lasers in this kind of format, and it breezes through it. Admittedly, once you have enough heat sinks. Because if you have 0 heat sinks and you fire anywhere near 6 medium lasers, you're overheating regardless. That's also another thing. Something you need to know about constructing a mech. Your mech needs fucking heat sinks, regardless of what you think. Yeah, granted, you may carry a lot of ballistics, but you just need it. It's like putting your hand in a fucking oven and then switching it over to a Bunsen burner. You're still gonna get fucking burned. It's pointless. Actually, that kind of made no sense. It did initially in my head, and then I said it, and it was like, yeah, it kind of makes no sense. Okay, I'll put it to you this way. Which would you rather? Would you rather a Bunsen burner for 5 seconds, or would you rather stick your hand in a microwave for 10? Personally, I'd prefer the microwave. Plus, it just sounds fucking deadly. And in case anyone's wondering, the reason I have the medium laser actually unbound is so when I eventually run out of ammunition, I can actually still fire. All I need to do is kind of put that there. Yeah. But I'm just going to take that off. Oh, that's why it didn't. Sticking all of your fire groups on top of each other, overlapping their key presses, and sticking them in chain fire. It's called ghost firing, and it is the most helpful fucking thing ever. Again, also sounds pretty cool. Anyway. Okay, let's actually go back to a mech and where my strong suit is and actually create a mech. Because this is a part where you need to fucking learn. Let's go, let's pick something widely used. Like say you. And strip the mech. Boop, 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 boop. Well, okay, no. And vector modules. Boom. Oh wow, that's actually really high tonnage for a start. That can't be right. Oh god, that's really bad. Okay, screw the Mad Cat. Let's go for something different. And bang. Click OK, there we go. Okay, so that's a little bit better. It's essentially 40 tons on top of what's originally there. Which is, not bad. Not great, but not bad. So, what you have is, let's decide on what we want the fucking thing to do first. Do you want it to be long range? Do you want it to be short range? Do you want it to be a brawler? Do you want it to be a tank? Do you want it to be this, that, the fucking other? You need to decide that yourself. You need to equip things appropriate to what you want it to do. Like long range, gauze rifles, LRMs, PPCs, in some instances large pulse lasers. I don't personally recommend them, but they're constant fire, so they're not as bad as they could be. Sometimes UAC 5s, again, that's more medium range. Like what okay, this is something. What I determine as long range is anything over 800 meters. If it is 800 meters or over, it's long range. 800 meters to usually about 300, 400 meters, that's medium range. Anything below 300 is short range. And of course, then you have melee range, which is I'm in your face. So, yeah. Also, there's extreme range, which is 1,500 plus, but the only thing you can get that far, at least in my opinion, would be a gauze rifle. Because if you could make that shot with a PPC, you're a better man than I. Also, LRMs are out of the picture because, well, no lock, and they have a maximum range of 1,000 meters, depending on which ones you're using. So, anyway, let's see. We go medium range, right? Technically, in this instance, I would use AC-10s, but they're fucking really heavy. Not that that actually matters at this point, because we're not putting armor in this thing. This is just for show. That looks ridiculous. Actually, you know what? No, that's perfect, because I can show this off in a different way. That's okay. Yeah. Let's whoop the fucking what? Get back down. Thank you. Now, that where's the third? Well, that's just there it is. Of course, it's an Ebenjäger. Damn thing's a. No, that's a flamer. Now, put it on. Thank you. Jeez. I don't really like doing that, but whatever. 1, 2, and fuck it. 3. Save. It's a piece of shit mech. I realize that. Okay. One thing I need to stress about building a mech. The weapon groups tab on the left side of your mech lab is better for setting up the initial structure of your mech loadout. This is, in my eyes, a better menu than what you would get if you went in-game and tried to do it. Because in-game, it's not determined from left or right, or forward or back, which is a real problem. And PGI, or Pig, yeah, fuck it, we'll just call them Pig. Pig from now on needs to fucking change that, because it's a problem. It really is. Especially in Chainfire. Because the first one, the highest one on the list, is always fired first. And if it can't determine from left or right, then you may as well be shooting empty ammo into space. It's pointless. Either way, on the left and rights, we have the two AC-10s. And then we have the 4 medium lasers. Now, how do you tell which one in the medium lasers is the ones closest to the gun you want selected? The top one is usually the left, and the bottom one is usually the right. Now, what I mean by that, the 4 medium lasers in this list on the arms, that being 1, 2, 3, and 4, the 2 on the top are going to be firing from the left. So what you want to do is go down to the bottom 2, and you want to switch that to group 2. And you want to take this English would be good. This UAC-10, and you want to stick it to group 2. Okay, grand. There is now a problem. Because on your torso you have a ballistic and 3 mediums, one of which is firing from a lower hanging position than your cockpit. Which, if you are trying to peek over a hill and shoot, that laser is just going to go straight into the ground, which is a real problem. This actually is more effective when you try and build something like a sniper. Now, my Milton Toast is... Probably no one's going to get that, but my Milton Toast is a pair of large lasers on top of an Arctic cheetah. Damn thing is fast, can get into any fucking position it needs to, and fire straight over hills. All I need to do is be able to see the target, and I can hit them. Okay. I kind of went on that for a little bit. So what you have is one of your medium lasers is firing underneath your cockpit. Usually, now I say usually, it's not all the time, but usually in the weapon groups in your mech lab, the one on the bottom is underneath the ones on... Of course the one on the bottom is underneath the ones on top. That's... Duh. The one in your central torso, or what looks like your central torso, fires last compared to the ones mounted to your shoulders. So what you have is the one underneath your cockpit is actually the one here, on the last of the group. So what you have is the 2 here, which can be bound to something different. This is what I mean by left to right, front to back, top to bottom. The ones on your shoulders should be firing independently from the one in your chest, because you can fire the one on your shoulders over a hill, while you cannot fire the one in your chest over a hill. Unless you're actually on top of the hill, in which case, fuck you, that's logical, and you need to die in a fire. So what you have is a set of 2 firing groups, which is your left and right, which is your arms, your front to backs, which we don't actually have any front to backs because we have no LRMs, so that's fine. Sorry, we have no LRMs, Gauss rifles, or PPCs. But we do have top to bottom, which is your shoulder mounts on coupled or uncoupled with the mounts in your chest. What I mean by something mounted in your chest is anything underneath your view is in your chest. Anything shoulder mounted is, well, over your view, so you can fire it over a hill. Anyway, so what we want to do is unbound that. And we want to switch our UAC in our chest, in our shoulder, to 3, and we want to fire the 2 medium lasers, these 2, to fire on something different. Now, I don't have anything bound to weapon group 5, so this is where a little bit of weirdness comes in. In this scenario, where you have a energy produced weapon which produces a lot of heat, I would couple those which are on your shoulder, and I would couple the ones underneath your viewpoint with anything that does not produce a lot of heat. And in this case, this is your UAC-10. That's what it would look like. Now, I wouldn't try and necessarily fire a UAC-10 over a hill, because it has to do with my playstyle and a lot of other different things. But this isn't for everyone. This way of weapon grouping is not for everyone. It takes a lot of getting used to, especially where the weapons come from and what you can and cannot hit. But considering where the weapon, the medium laser in my chest, this one, considering where it is situated and how close it is to the cockpit, this is easier to angle around a corner with a UAC-10. Coupling that with the amount of heat that both produce, it equalizes out into something more manageable, rather than putting 3 medium lasers on 1 fire group. So, that is our firing group. That is how you set up your weapon groups. Left to right, front to back, top to bottom. Now, let's not play with this mech because it has fucking 0 armor. Testing grounds. Yeah. Why isn't that? Wow, that. Oh, okay. Okay. Right. So what you have? That. Not the greatest of heat management, but stick on a few heat sinks, and that will pretty much negate that. Now, that's your left and rights. Weapon jam, of course, because it's UAC. 3. Oh, that one went firing over the fucking shoulder. Oh, that's annoying. And this is where the issue with rebinding these inside of the game actually has an issue. Because you don't know which one's which. I'm going to try that. Nope, that's still over the shoulder. Wow, that one was actually on top. That's weird. Well, that just threw my theory straight out the window. Yep.
Target acquired.
And overheating. I'm dead. Like, I did that. I'm fucking dead. Outright. But for the sake of the video and actually continuing on with what I need to explain. Overheating and all of that shit. By the way, no armor, so if I actually go into overheat mode a lot, I might die. So let's test that.
Heat level critical.
No? No, that's weird. Okay. So here's another issue. If you get into game and you start firing away and having fucking ER medium lasers with UAC 10s and blah blah blah, and you come across the fact that you just fired your entire left arm in one volley and it overheats you, sticking your medium lasers in a different weapon group may help that issue. Medium lasers don't couple well with UAC 10s. They produce a lot of heat, some of it's ghost heat, and on top of that, your ammunition is being drained while you are basically saying, hey, I'm over here, please kill me. Because everybody in this game does not like UAC 10s. And usually when they're seen or spotted, they're frowned upon and usually killed. I think that actually that comes from the beta. I'm not entirely sure.
Acquired. Heat level critical.
Burp. I'm actually kind of curious as to how much damage I just did to that. Not a lot, but
Heat level critical. Target destroyed.
so. Oh, yes, something I actually have to touch on. Within your mech lab, you will see. Actually, it's easier if I just go back to the mech lab. You will see on your weapons that a certain weapon produces a certain amount of heat. Like, medium lasers produce 7 heat. Or is it 6? I can't remember now. Heat. 6 heat. And which one was it? Oh, it's the pulse. No, the pulse lever. Laver? Laver. Nice. Okay. Something produces 7 heat and I can't remember what. Anyway, your medium laser produces 6 heat. Now, your 6 heat on top of your 6 heat being 12. So, 2 of these firing at the same time produces your 12 heat. While the UAC 10 produces 3. Okay. That's 15 heat. So what? You're firing 3 times that. Because the medium lasers are a constant barrage, the heat that the UACs produce essentially meld with the amount of heat that's being produced with the medium lasers. So instead of actually producing 15 heat, you're actually producing 30. That's ghost heat. That's a lot of fucking ghost heat. That's why medium lasers and UACs don't couple well. And whereas you try something like 6 AC AC5s in ghost mode, it's... yeah. What I'm trying to say is, think before you build. When you build something, you see it, it's like, oh, this UAC2 produces 0.8 heat. Okay. It's less than 1. How many times does it fire? How many times... how long does the weapon stay active while fired? Now, how do you tell that? You really can't. Unless you practice with the weapon a lot. And you know, right, this medium laser stays up for so long. During that time, I can fire another weapon on top of it. It's going to produce a little bit of ghost heat, but not as much if I continuously fired the same medium laser, which you really can't do unless you have, well, 2 or 3 of them in chain mode, which is meant to negate ghost heat, and while it does do it effectively, firing anything on top of that chain is, well, not great. It's not the worst idea in the world, but it could certainly be handled better and can be manipulated and negated through clever weapon groups. In this situation, what I would do to completely negate, well, not completely negate the ghost heat in this mech, is getting rid of the AC-10s. Replace them with the AC-5s, which produce 2 less heat, actually. That's... Huh. Yeah, that'll actually do it. Replacing the AC-10s with the AC-5s, and replacing the medium lasers with medium pulse lasers. Now, a lot of people are just screaming. New word, everyone. A lot of people are screaming at me at this point that that will not work. Sorry to say, that's wrong. You're actually wrong. The reason why it works is, well, it's multiple why it works. One, the medium laser its heat is 6, its cooldown is 3. Grand. So the amount of time you can fire that is once every 3 seconds. Let's say it's 3 seconds. It's not, but let's say it's 3 seconds. So you can fire a medium pulse laser every 3 seconds. Sorry, a medium laser every 3 seconds. And it produces 6 heat. Great. So the left torso that we had, we'd be producing 18 heat every 3 seconds. Unless you can dissipate that 18 heat every 3 seconds, eventually you're going to overheat. Eventually you're going to die. With the medium pulse, you produce 6 heat every 3 seconds, but the duration is less. The duration is less. So you're producing the 6 heat in a shorter time period, which means your heat sinks can kick in quicker, because the heat sinks only really kick in when the gun stops firing. Now, the heat sinks still work while the weapon is firing, but it works as intended when the weapon stops firing. Now, I need to quickly change all of this, because damn. Medium, whoops. I hate it when it does that. Medium pulse, and medium pulse. Medium pulse AC, medium pulse AC. Right. Now you also have extra tonnage to work with, so you can stick on more heat sinks. But for the sake of this, I'm going to go with the same ammunition. You have 2 additional tons to work with. Also, it was more damaging. Or it is more damaging. Fuck it, it's only 3,000. Saving. Need to go quicker. There you go. Okay. Again, no armor. Testing grounds, anything, fucking Frozen City. Actually, I shouldn't have gone Frozen City. I should have gone with the same map. Yeah, okay, I'll go with the same map. Excuse me. This is literally for the purpose of showing you the difference in heat. Quit match. Oh yay, it started to rain. Woohoo. Yeah, I went Emerald, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Training grounds, Emerald. Now. Oh shit, I forgot. Oh, god damn it. Okay, well, I suppose it's about time I showed you that anyway. Trying to bind fucking or group up weapons while in game. Watch, this is... Okay, even that was alpha striking, right? Even that. The last configuration we had the UAC-10s with the medium lasers overheated me with a single alpha strike. That did not. Now, granted, the uptime for the AC5 is larger than that of the AC10, but only very slightly. Only very slightly. But let's get down to business and try and do this. That I didn't actually mean to fire all of those at once. Okay, that's left. That's right. And now, while we have the entire left, right, and central torso fire groups, doesn't produce anywhere near enough heat. So, what do? Well, you run on the same... Huh. It's actually... yeah. You run on the same thought pattern. Left to right, front to back, top to bottom. Left, right. It's not producing anywhere near enough heat for it to overheat me. This is heat management at its finest. Well, okay, not at its finest, but definitely up there. And still,
Heat level critical.
even with half your heat gauge and you alpha strike, you overheat, you shut down for, what was that, 3 seconds? So if you need to alpha strike in a really bad situation, which you never should do, don't do it ever, don't, just stop. If you ever need to, you're only down for 3 seconds. Boom. Done. Yeah, okay, granted. It's a fucking training dummy. It's not going to shoot back at you. This is only heat gauge. This is the difference between the heat gauges. The AC-10s and the medium lasers just produced way too much heat. The AC-5s and the medium pulse lasers, on the other hand, something else entirely.
Heat level critical.
Look at that. Armor stripped, not shut down. Granted it was an alpha strike, but
Target
boom.
destroyed.
Now I'm not exactly sure how much armor these training dummies have, but that's a cataphract. If it's in any way the same shape as a player's cataphract, I would take this mech into battle any day of the week. The only problem with it is no fucking armor. Now, that is literally this video. That is the differences between what you can output against what you produce in heat. This is the weapon groups. This is how you should manage your mech. Because, look, we all play this game to have fun, unless you're in the competitive scene, in which case, god fucking damn it. Why are you watching this video? You should know this shit from Mech Warrior 2. But on the same end, we play this to have fun, to create new things, to basically kick the shit out of each other with their own inventions. And the best ways of doing it are just sheer thought. Put some thought into it. If I'm creating a mech from scratch, chances are I'm going clan tech, but that's only because Omni parts. And on top of that, it's literally, right, what can I stick on this part that is going to benefit a weapon group without killing my heat? Or without killing me? That's what it comes down to. Just a little bit of thought, and you can make a mech that is terrifying. And actually, to show that off, I'm kind of interested.
Heat level critical.
What
New
did I do to you?
target
Jesus,
acquired.
stripped your armor. And shut you down. You're dead. 2 alpha strikes on an awesome, that's... Huh. I may actually keep this mech as is and see what I can make out of it. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one to take to the field. Right. To actually show what I mean by placing weapons in specific spots to benefit the mech without overheating it, I am going to show you 2 mechs that, for all intents and purposes, should overheat like a bitch. One is my dire wolf called 6 Fingers. 6 Fingers is a UAC-20, 2 LRM-20s, a gauze rifle, and 2 large lasers. Technically should overheat, but it doesn't. The left side of this mech is not independent of each other. And this is the only mech I have, well, not the only mech I have like this, but it is one of very few. And that is literally because the way the mech is made. Made. The large lasers on its right arm have the same uptime as the gauze rifle's charge. This is something I noticed over time, but as long as you have those 2 large lasers firing together, followed up by a gauze shot, you are stripping most mechs of their armor. Coupled with the UAC-20, it's quite a terrifying follow-up. Anything at long range is LRM-20'd, gauzed, feckin' large lasered. Anything medium range, UAC-20, large laser. Anything short range, well, chances are it's a light and it's getting up my ass. So, I'm a dire wolf. Chances are I'm kind of fucked. That is, of course, if the light mech pilot is any good. If they're not, well, they're dead. Now, the heat management says it's a 1.2. Usually any competitive mech player will not play a mech anywhere over, or anywhere under 1.1. Because competitive mech players realize that with good weapon management, with good weapon groups, you can minimize that heat and gain, honestly, it's less than 5% ghost heat, which is amazing in the mech. With something like, let's say, bring up all-rounder, which is this guy. Let's see, 4 medium pulse, a large, 2 machine guns just for shits and giggles, really. 2 SRM-6 and 2 LRM-20s. Anything at medium, long range, medium range is just fucked. I do have a little bit of a problem at short range, but that's only because I can't follow up with um, anything heavy duty. Like I have the large laser, which isn't really great at short range. I have the 4 medium pulse, and I have the 2 SRM6. Well, and the machine guns, but why would you bother with the machine guns? There's nothing really hard hitting like a UAC 20, which is actually kind of a problem, but I've gotten around it quite a number of times, so I'm kind of happy with that. In terms of mechs that are, well, weird, my Hellbringer, which is, oh god, what are you? 2 large lasers or 2 mediums? I've forgotten. 2 large lasers. 2 large lasers, a pair of LRM 20, a pair of LRM 10s. Thank you. I think. Yep. And 3 medium pulse. Which, oh, I switched it to small pulse. Oh yeah, no, that's, yeah, because short range, yeah. So I have things for long range, I have things for medium range, I have things for short range. Left to right, front to back, top to bottom. I have a lot of weird mechs. Like, fuck it. 80 LRMs to your face. Sure, why not? It actually, fair juice. I came up with this mech, I tried it out. It is fucking fun as fuck. It is fucking fun as fuck. Wow, I curse a lot. But yeah. 80 LRMs to the face. Usually not a good thing. Anything else that I could condone as a weird mech? Not really, actually. Well, okay, well there's Milton Toast. Not exactly a weird mech, it's just a sniper. Terabashi, but that's support mech. Yeah, okay, let's see if I can explain this without laughing. 3 AMS, because fuck it. A tag, an arc, and a machine gun with an ECM, and there's one other thing I can't remember. Oh yeah, the targeting computer. Why the fuck do I have a targeting computer? In my foot, of all things. Clan active probe. Oh, yes, that's why. Projectile speed. For the narc. Interesting. KDKs are kind of normal. My Warhawks are kind of normal. Well, with the exception of him. He's slightly weird. 2 LRM-15s, 2 mediums, SRM-6, or sorry, Streak 6, and a Gauss rifle. Actually kind of hard hitting. The only problem is it's a fucking Warhawk. The goddamn thing's made of paper. And I think that really goes with all of my weird mechs. LRM-20 to, sorry, 3 medium pulse, 2 sets of SRM-6, and a Gauss rifle. Left to right. Wait a second. I do have other weird mechs, but... Oh, yeah. It's not exactly a weird mech, it's actually just fucking overpowered. 4 Gauss rifles on a KDK, because sure. This thing also has jump jets, because fuck it, why not? And yeah. I think that actually pretty much goes for it. There's heat punch, but it's 8 um, eight medium lasers, 2 UAC 5s, and 4 large lasers. The 4 large lasers centered around the cockpit, so I can have a more focused angle, while the left and right arms are independent. The UAC 5s are not. They fire together, and that is because I literally ran out of room. So, what am I to do? Yeah, that actually pretty much covers everything. Just please, again, if you come away with anything from this video, please let it just be do not alpha strike. It kills you. It just kills you. And left to right, front to back, top to bottom. Done. That's where I'm going to leave all that. And hopefully you all learn heat management, weapon groups, do it properly, and you never shut down. That's what it comes down to. I shall see you all on the battlefield. Good day and good night, or good morning, or whatever. Whatever your time zone. See yous.